Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin, see what's going on. I did break straight through that 84, 85K range that we were talking about, making sure that, again, closing above 84,000 was a positive situation for Bitcoin. I'm not gonna like try to sell you on the fact that we're back on track. Things are really great because we're close to 90,000. Not even a little bit, but we're going to double check, see if there's any trend reversals. We're going to check our smaller time frame fib levels and just kind of see overall where the retracement levels are at here, and just generally talk a little bit more about best practice and big picture for situations like these. The truth is there's a lot of tariff war stuff going on right now, so it's not optimal trading conditions by any stretch. So just know that, and be mindful of the fact that things can change on a very quick dime there. Quick congrats to our community members for yesterday's shorts, or is more so like the short from the day before, but we secured profit yesterday about 56% on the from 90,000 to 82,000. I was considering a long position above 84,000 yesterday, but the price continued to run, and I don't like trying to catch runners. So at this point, it's important to kind of recognize specific key supports and resistances. We'll talk about that and see if we can catch some shorts or longs on those at those specific areas, right? And again, I typically send out trade alerts to my community, of course. So if you're in our community here, make sure you read through our trade alerts. Congrats to our community members too for some nice profits on our Premium Plus trading bot. That's actually working out pretty well. But I was going to show you here my trade alerts, basically just something to kind of give you perspective on where I'm planning to take a trade with, right? So at this point, am I planning to take a trade? Well, we'll know here soon. I always like to look at the charts before I just jump right in. But yesterday, I was biased towards taking a short in the 84 to 86K range, and that just completely, that ship has sailed, okay? So it's important to recognize, whenever you see me talking about hypotheticals in my videos, a lot of those are based on contingencies that need to occur first, right? So with us closing above 84,000, obviously that is not an option anymore. Does that mean you just take a short here at 90 to 88,000? Possibly. We'll talk about that too. So what do we want to look at here? First of all, we'll zoom in a little bit and kind of see that there's a lot of liquidation between 95 and 96,000. We've known this for a while. It's just above the local high. We can also recognize 91 to 92,000 is starting to accumulate. So there's potential for us to be able to see that level tested here soon. And we do take a look at the macro. Not much has changed here. We're still at 95 plus for liquidation, and of course 78,000 or lower for the lower range. So that's kind of normal there. What isn't normal here is liquidation delta. When the price action is coming up like it has, we still have more people trying to short than take longs. And what does this generally mean for us? Well, this implies that more people are trying to short in this moment, but we have a bullish type of continuation. So people still believe the price isn't going to go much higher, which I kind of side with that in a way, but also we got to recognize if there's shifts in momentum, it would make sense for the price to continue a little bit higher, potentially retest that local area of resistance. So once more, there's different ways you can kind of interpret that, but the truth is it's a bearish sign no matter how you look at it. However, if we have good volume leading into this uptrend, which we're going to look at here shortly, then there's a good chance that these shorts were going to get squeezed out here soon, okay? Because they're probably just a series of late shorts that have been opened up recently. If we take a look at open interest, we can see 94,000 is that local area of open interest. And here local, we're seeing people accumulate at Bitcoin mostly at 88,500, which is really close to the price action now. And then prior to that, about 86,000. So 86,000 and 88.5 are the two areas of potential support for us. So if the price were to pull back, 86,000 is that potential consideration for entry. Keep in mind we do have some fair value gaps here where the price action continued up pretty fast. So between 84 and 86, we could see that retested. Let's double check the daily time frame, kind of see what's going on here first. And as per usual, the daily time frame is not going to look very bullish at all. Okay, we're above the 200-day SMA. That's great. That's nice consolation. Don't put too much emphasis on that, and don't try to think that we're just going to go straight up from here because it bounced off an SMA. But there are trends, and 200-day SMA is a good trend setter, letting us know that we're still in decent shape in the macro as far as pullbacks are concerned. This hypothetically is the bottom. And we have seen this too, because again, when we looked at this yesterday, the price action was below this level here. Remember that I drew out this red line here? Basically, this red line is implying that we had 4 days of consistency at this price point of 84,200 or 84,000 even. It's exactly why I close above 84,000 is not bullish, just not bearish. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at there. But everything else minus the 200 SMA and this little bit of confluence here by 84K does imply that further downside should be expected. We're below 50 on the RSI, stochastic swinging down, and below all SMAs in this descending trend line too. So obviously not a favorable situation. Doesn't mean you can't take a long. It just implies if you take a long, you want to have some tighter targets to ensure that you're not going to be, holding to 100,000 plus. While that could still happen, we got to get through a lot of barriers of resistance before we do that. Take a look here. 4-hour time frame is telling us a decent amount here. Nice little shift of momentum. We're back up over the 20-day SMA, the 50-day SMA as well. And then if we take a look here at the RSIs, we're over 50 on the RSI and above our simple moving average. That's a very, very important aspect. Being over the RSI SMA is super, super important. Okay, so I like to see that. It kind of helps us understand that we have shifted some momentum on the smaller time frames. Stochastic swinging up is good. Money flow index is super low though. I don't really love this, but it's a bit of a false positive. And the main reason why is based on the simple fact that there was so much selling pressure here recently. It's still adding that into the equation there. And even though we have a decent amount of volume here, which is actually quite sizable, the price action is, the money flow index isn't reflecting that. So just know that's kind of where we're at there. So the 4-hour time frame, to keep it easy, we're seeing good momentum shifts here. We're seeing good continuation. There's a lot of reasons here as to why a long position is viable, and I'm using quotations when I say that because you want to be very careful taking a long. I don't necessarily recommend taking a long, but I can say that this transition that we're seeing right now is speaking to the price action going higher than lower. But that comes with a caveat. We need to recognize that we've seen this kind of behavior before. Every time we get some type of bullish confirmation, I wouldn't say every time, but most of the time we see that, the price action for Bitcoin will pull back. Okay, and again, it could just be something as simple as a random tweet online or some kind of trade war thing. There's a lot of craziness in the market right now, but the truth is, it's difficult to trade Bitcoin right now. That's an easy way to understand it. When we look at the Ichimoku cloud, we are on the right side of tracks here. This is good, mostly positive. We're above all SMAs on the hourly. We're also seeing the conversion line above the baseline, and then the lagging span is free and clear. So while it's not perfect and we're not totally above the cloud, we're seeing a lot of support in this range. Our local point of control we can see here is about 87,500, and of course secondary and tertiary to that is about 86 and 83.5. So we got some nice areas of support on the way down, but if you look at just the hourly and the 4-hour time frame, they're all confirming for the most part, not completely, but majority of confirmations are pointing up, essentially confirming that we should go higher. So the key takeaway here is, depending on how far Bitcoin goes down, we're likely to see a pivot point here at this 0.5 fib level, not because it's a 0.5 fib, but because it was a local low. We didn't see the price go any lower than 86,600 for a good solid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 hours, and that shows that this is a nice little area of support. We've also got some confluence here as well at 86,000 with this local. Basically a point of control and or open interest, and that's at 86K. So I think if the price were to pull back any further, 86,000 for long seems sensible, as long as you watch your trade closely and you don't just blindly take along to the so-called moon. That's just not a thing anymore. So I would recommend being very careful at this point. Majority of the smaller time frames do point up, but once more we got that $90,000 resistance as a potential, it's like a psychological resistance, if you will. And here locally, we could see we didn't even close above 90,500. So if you do take a long, make sure you secure profits in this range. Don't go too crazy with your take profit targets up in the 90 plus range. It's less likely we're going to see that. Cool. All right, that's where we're at there, folks. I know it's never great, never pretty, but that's just kind of the gist of it here. Make sure you check out Bitunix too, folks. I just got to kind of give you a heads up. We got less than 10 days left on this deposit bonus. Take advantage of that. And obviously, you want to kind of stay abreast on my updates. It's all available for you there on my Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. I hope you all have a good rest of your day, though. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.